Assignment 3, collage. You're going to create a collage using 5 different images. It's going to be 8 inches by 10 inches at 150 dpi, document mode CMYK. So basically you're going to find 5 images on the internet, put them together in a collage. Use some tools, transform tools. Here it says change opacity. Show you how to do that. Erase, use a mask, and adjust the layer image. So the other 2 assignments we haven't really worked with layers. This one, you get into layers. Alright. So you can read all this information, scan or acquire images, use 5 digital photos, either your own or from the internet. If you don't have your own photos, that's fine. I made a list down here of where to find images. These are some stock libraries. These you have to pay for. This one's not expensive, and this one's completely free. Now, if you go on Google and you want to use some images from Google, that's fine. Just know about copyright law. You don't want to just grab random images off the internet, put them in your own design, and then sell it as your own. For this assignment and for practice, it's fine, but generally you want to get the person who made the image, their permission. So I've found that you got this freeimages.com, and then you have this pexels.com. They also have some videos as well. So I have decided to make a collage on veganism. Not that I'm vegan, but I had to pick some sort of cause that I thought would be interesting. So let's start by our document size, 8 by 10. So in Photoshop, File, New. And since it's already set there from before, but make sure you set this to inches. 8 inches wide, 10 inches tall, 150 dpi, and color mode CMYK. Boom, 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 create. There's your new document. As you can see, I'm at 50%, so I'm zoomed out half the way just so it fits in my viewport. Alright, so layers. Let's start talking about layers. If you don't see, let's see, workspace, reset essentials. Okay, so you should see layers right here. If you don't see layers, go under window, layers. Very simple. Right now we have one layer, background. It's an italicized, locked background. That's perfectly fine. You can convert this into a regular layer by double clicking on this background layer. New layer. Okay, so now it's not locked and it's not italicized, and it's actually, I can move it around, but for this assignment, locked, italicized background is fine. Alright, so let's go find an image for this assignment. I'm going to go down to this pexels.com, and the first image, I'm going to look for a pig image. Alright, I'm going to use this one. He looks sad and depressed. I'm going to use this one. Alright, I guess I could just copy image. Go over here. Edit, paste. No, that didn't do it right. And undo that. That's not big enough. I'm going to go to free download and save this to my desktop. Go back to Photoshop. File, open the image. Okay, this is a lot bigger. 16%. I know this image is very large now. Yes, this is what I want. As big as it can be. Alright, so I need to put this image into this layer. How do we do that? Well, there's 2 different ways I know offhand. Easiest way, select all, go to select all, and go to edit copy. Over here, edit paste. Now there's my pig image in my collage. It's very big. That's fine. And the second way I know how to get this image, I'll show you real quick, is that see how these two tabs are kind of tied together? If I unconnect it like this, where I can see my project over here and the image over here, I can actually click and drag this over and it just moves a copy over. So that's two ways to get it in there. I'm going to close this pig image. Alright, so I'm looking at this pig. He's very big. Well, how do I shrink it down? Simple. Edit, transform, scale. Now, here is what I'm going to say. Look right here, free transform. 99 times out of 100, when I want to rotate, scale, whatever, I just hit Control T on the keyboard. But just so you know, there's also edit, transform, scale. So let's try scale right here real quick. It looks like nothing happened. Well, this image is so big that I need to move it around so I can even see the corner here. Okay, so as I shrink this down, uh-oh, what's happening? Oh no, the image is getting skewed. How do I know which way was it? Was it like this? Was it like this? Forget it. I'm gonna hit escape on the keyboard. Let's try again. But this time, scale. I'm gonna hold shift on the keyboard and scale it. Now if you hold shift on the keyboard, it scales it proportionally perfect. Alright. There we go. So anytime I'm scaling something and you want it to be proportional, hold shift on the keyboard. Alright, I'm going to put this guy right about here. Hit enter on the keyboard. Now you can do these little buttons up at the top here. Cancel transform, which is escape. Commit transform, which is enter. I tend to use a lot of keyboard shortcuts, so I'm just going to hit enter. Alright, now if you look over in the layers, check it out. Background layer, and then layer 1 with the pig. Alright, you can actually rename this layer if you wanted. I'm going to double click on this layer, call it pig. Well, let me slow that down. Double click, type whatever you want. Hit enter on the keyboard, there's the pig. Now with the layers panel, there's all kinds of options. Here's your opacity. If you wanted to tone that down. And then there's a little eyeball right here. This eyeball indicates layer visibility. You see the little tooltip. Alright. Simple enough, I think. So let's go get another image. Alright, let's get another image. And we'll go back to our website here. I'm going to type in hot dog. These are sponsored photos. You have to pay for these. Hot dog with a space. Big difference. Okay, hot dog. Alright, so let's choose this one here. That almost looks too appetizing. We're trying to go for sad cruelty to animals. We'll pick it anyway. Alright, I'm going to download that to my desktop. Now I'm going to open it here. Select all. Edit copy. Over here, edit paste. Alright. Now I'm going to push Control T on the keyboard. Control T. There's my little resize points. I'm going to hold shift on the keyboard. Now I'm going to let go of shift at this point to move this over. Push shift again on the keyboard. Click this again. Shrink it down. Let go of shift. Move this over. This almost looks like bread. You know what? Let me get the image that I originally had, but let me put this in here real quick and make a good point. See how many layers I have now? 1, 2, 3. I have this hot dog layer. And as you can see right now, my move tool is just, it doesn't have auto select layer on. So let's say you want to move this pig and you're like, move the pig, not the hot dog. Well, come over here, click on the pig layer, then you can move the pig. Come back over to the hot dog layer, click on the hot dog layer and move the hot dog. But I don't like this hot dog, I'm going to get rid of it. With the layer 1 selected, you see at the bottom right, delete layer. You can actually, with the layer selected, click the delete layer button, which looks like a trash can, or you can actually just drag this layer with your mouse to the trash. Layer gone. It's not here. It's missing here and missing here. Now, obviously, you could just hide it. It's going to take up file size because it's still in your Photoshop document. But we want to delete it 100%. Drag to trash. Alright, let me go back. Get the image I really wanted first time. Fast food. Here it is. What a tasty hot dog. Alright. Select all. Edit copy. Go back to my document here. Edit paste. Alright. Control T on the keyboard. Gonna hold shift, shrink down. Let go of shift. Move over. Hold shift. Shrink down, let go of shift, move over, do one more time, and we'll do it like, I'm going to go back up a little bit, right about there. Enter on the keyboard. Alright, now 2 square images on top of each other. What I want to do is get rid of this area with the shoe and some of this spots. Now with the directions originally said erase, I also added use a mask. Now if you don't want to use a mask, it's fine. It's no points off. Same thing. But let me show you the erase tool and then the benefits of a mask. Alright, so I got my layer 1 selected. I'm going to rename this layer to hot dog. Go over here, find erase tool. And if you notice, it looks just like a brush. Because it is a brush. But it's an erasing brush if you want to get technical. So here's my brush options. Hardness all the way to 0. Size at 500. Now remember the other shortcut keys to increase and decrease your brush size is the bracket keys. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do, make sure your opacity is at 100, is erase parts of these images. Parts of this image, not images. That's too much. Let me go down some more. Alright. Poor little piggy. He didn't deserve this. Alright. Now, if you see, if I move it after I erased it, there's still spots. But that's fine. I want to like right about here. Alright. Now let's say you erased a part that you want to put back. Well, you can do undo. And keep going backward. But what if you did a mask? This might be a little complicated here, but let's say you do a mask. Look down here with the layer selected as the third option. Add layer mask. Click that. Now if you see, there's a layer mask which is linked to our image. It's white. It's very important that's white, because white means you can see it. But if I go get my brush, switch over here the foreground to black. Now make sure you're on the layer mask and I start painting black. Look at the little thumbnail right here. Black hides it, white sees it. Lack of a better term. Alright, so I'll go over here. Imitate the brush as the erase tool. That's too much. Alright. So, in essence, I'm erasing, but I'm not losing any of my image permanently. Okay, it looks the same, but look at the little thumbnail. Now, just to prove my point, I'm going to hold Alt on the keyboard. No, sorry, let me try that. I'm going to right click on the mask, go disable layer mask. There it is. There's the whole image. And it has a little X on it. Right click again, enable mask. So, this is more of what we call a non-destructive method. None of the data is gone. In case you change your mind, you need to put something back. You want to touch it up later on. So I'll leave that as is. And what I was going to say, when I push Alt on the keyboard and press the mask, you can see the mask. You can see where I've painted in the black and left the white. And just to even show you that, I'm going to do a little spot right here in the center, hold Alt on the keyboard and click back, and you can see there's a hole in my image. And you say, well, how do you fix that? Well, I'm going to switch back to white and paint that back in. So, and just for fun, I'll show you. Nope, I won't do that actually. Let's say I made a mistake here. I need to put this back. I'm going to switch back to black and put that back in there. Switch to white. Cut off some of this. Switch back to black. Switch back to white. Put that back in there. And there we go. So, if you feel more comfortable with the erasing, it's fine. If you want to try out the mask, that's fine. The mask. I do notice some of my background image coming through right there on that line. Let me look at my mask and see if yeah, there's some gray. It's not just black and white, it's also got gray. So I'm going to paint this white spot back in right there. And it's not showing through any, just a little bit. There we go. What I should probably do is come down to this and get rid of this hard edge. For this example, I'm just going to use the eraser tool just to change it up. Kind of get rid of that hard edge. That way it just doesn't show up at all anywhere. There. Okay. So that's really it. I got two images. Let's go find another image. Use this one. File open. Select all. Edit copy. Edit paste. Gonna shrink this down. Alright. There's a little hard edge right there. I'm going to put a mask on it. I'm switching between mask and erasing just so you can kind of get experience with both. Alright, soften that edge. But then you can see part of the background coming in. Switch back to white, kind of paint that part back in there. Change my mind. Go back to black a little. If you push Alt on the keyboard, you can see your mask. And you can even just hide this if you want. Alright. Move this over a little. I think that's fine. You don't see this person on the right here. Well, let's just... Oops. That's what happens when you try to use a mask and you're not clicked on the mask layer. You're actually painting black onto the layer. So let me go back 2 steps. Click on the mask layer. Sort of get rid of this alien arm. Alright, next image. I found something. Use these bloody hands, hopefully not grossed out. File open. Moving kind of fast here just to get through this. Select all, edit copy, edit paste. It pasted it behind that top layer, which brings up a good point. I need to put this layer to the top, so I'm going to click, drag, and move it up. You can actually put this layer anywhere you want. Try to imagine this as a stacking order, or like the game of Jenga. This is the top of the Jenga, this is the bottom of the Jenga. Alright, so I want to rotate this photo. Now, as you notice, you can do transform, rotate, but I just love free transform. And you can rotate it. If you have it to the edge, you see this curled double-sided arrow. You can rotate it any direction. Once again, you can hold the shift key when you do that, and it'll rotate it. You know, it looks like 25 to 45 degree increments. So that's a perfect 180 right there. Alright, Control T again. I'm going to shrink these hands down. Put it there. All this black I need to get rid of. This time I'll go back to eraser tool. Alright. Poor little piggy. Put that there. Move the pig over a little. Oops, there's a line there. Under something. There, it's under U. Alright. And then that's 4 images. Let's get one more image. Originally I'd use this chef knife, so let's use this. Now instead of, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to open the image, and I'm going to double click on this background layer to convert it to a regular layer. And I'm going to add the mask right here before I drag it in. Alright. Oops, a little too much there. Alright. Now I could just cut the knife out using a selection, but I'm going to try this a little different. Alright. Now instead of copy paste, because copy paste won't take in my mask, it'll just copy it. I'm going to do the thing I showed you earlier where I move this tab out a little, switch to my move tool, and I'm going to drag this layer into this layer. Alright. Now if you see, it dragged it with the mask. Good. And to prove my point, let me go back to the other one. If I go select all, edit copy, come over here, edit paste. Wow, it copied the mask. It's not what I wanted. Let me go back. Make sure I'm clicked on this first layer thumbnail and not the layer mask thumbnail. Edit copy. Come back over here. Edit paste. Look, it didn't just copied the image without the mask at all. We wanted the mask, the image with the mask. That's why we dragged it over. All right, I'm going to move this layer to the top. Control T. Move this out of the way so I can see a handle to drag. All right, here's my image. Now I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Kind of put it, make it look sinister. Cut the man instead of the pig. That's what we want. All right. So it looks kind of weird with this gray. I'm going to click on the mask. See what happens if I bring some of that back in. The cutting board. It's a cutting board. Not sure if the effect is the same seeing it on a cutting board. But alright. That's fine. Okay. There you have it. Alright. I see some red line coming in down here. I must have missed that on the mask. Yeah, there's a hard edge. Huh. Let me see if I can get that off of there. Yeah. Alright. Perfect. Looks good. So File, Save As, Assignment 3, and the directions say upload as a JPEG. Now usually when you're submitting something with DPI and CMYK, you don't make it a JPEG. You save it as a PDF, a TIFF, or even as a Photoshop document. JPEG is usually for websites, for the internet. I say internet, I mean like web, putting on a website. And print is usually, like I said, PDF, TIFF, PSD. But for this one, it's fine. Just saving on file size and whatnot. Just submit as a JPEG. So you can go to File, Export as, change it to JPEG. Quality 100% is fine. 1.5 megabytes. That's fine. Export all to desktop. Assignment 3. And make sure you have your own version saved as well, in case something happens. And when you're ready, submit it to the Dropbox, where it is not here, but I will add it shortly. Thank you.